Now may I request Ms. Sonal Sisodia ma'am, Principal of DCBM College, Indore, to conduct next session and escort our speaker, Ms. Esha Nagar, on the stage, please. Thank you.
So good morning, ladies. And here, up on the stage, we have the fierce Esha Nagar.
Hi.
So when I talk about Esha, she is the founder and CEO at Pegboard, which is a brand strategy firm. She's an advocate for brand stories, culture shifts, and women in leadership. Brand stories have always allured her. Measuring them has humbled her, but creating some is what truly inspires her. She's transforming the brand narratives in a landscape that doesn't have many women-led agencies. She's a brilliant leader with a growth mindset, strong business and analytical skills, yet easygoing. Wow. Thank you so much, Esha, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Sonal. It's been so lovely to be in Indore. The energy is just, the vibe is just amazing. It's actually my coming second time to Indore, like 13 years maybe. I was a textile engineer then, and I'm leading a marketing firm right now. So it's really just like covered up like full circle.
Lovely, lovely,
Yes.
lovely. So even before we started asking her questions, she was there right bang on. So a big applause for that.
Thank you so much.
Because we yet have to do the floral welcome. So, for doing the floral welcome, may I please request Ms. Shikha Joshi and Barkha Pathak of IMAs to come up on the stage and to present a memento and sapling to Ms. Esha Nagar. Thank you. Thank you so much. I would request the AV team to show the information slide. So these are some safety apps for women, and each one of us should be taking a note of it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I would always and also request the AV team to show us who the best listener of the session was. So the listener of the session is? Oh, I know her. Yes. So I think after this session, she should contact Seema Arora ma'am from IMA and get her goodie bag. Thank you so much. And after this long wait, here we go, and let's have AV of Esha Nagar. Finally.
Esha Nagar. Esha Nagar's 13 years of journey into the realm of brand strategy and consumer research is a testament to her diverse skill set and visionary mindset. Currently working as the founder and CEO of Pegboard, a brand strategy firm, she has been overseeing strategic directions, incubating brand stories, conducting culture workshops, building and transforming brands. She was managing director at Nepa and leading Nepa's APAC strategy, introduced new services and product lines and represented Nepa at conferences and forums. Esha also worked at Nielsen, a software development company, where she accumulated diverse experience of servicing new media and traditional media clients. Esha is gifted with a dual skill set, understanding structures and logic, and the ability to create brand stories and strategies, transforming many brand narratives in the country. Let's welcome Ms. Esha Nagar, a catalyst crafting brands and cultivating culture.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I would also want to highlight one thing here, that this voiceover for all the introductions of speakers is also done in-house. So we have, yes, so we have Pooja Sharma, CA Pooja Sharma, and Prachi Bogra, who's doing this for us. Also, at this point in time, I should also boast a little about myself. So the key takeaways that appear is also a team effort. So we have a team which is doing this as well. So no chat GPTs here. So this is very, very in-house, and a big shout out to the IMA Women team. Hip hip. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So Esha, you had a professional journey for a good 13 years. And then this entrepreneurship bug came in. So how did that happen?
Yeah, I think I'll take a moment. One, I think the kind of experience and wisdom that has been on this stage since morning. So I'm quite shaky with 13 years itself, because kuch kiya nahi hai zyada. But I also believe that you don't have to be a certain gender, age, or a kind to be a leader, or to start your journey, right? And I also, to your point that you were saying, I really want to thank IMA formally for having me here. And also the branding game is so on point. The management is so on point, and also no chat GPT, so great work there. Yes. Coming back to your question, which is what was my trigger? The trigger for, I think, the entrepreneurship journey is never overnight. ऐसे रात में नहीं आ जाता है that tomorrow I'm going to, just be the startup leader. For me, the roots were planted 13 years back itself with my first internship. When I interned with Regit Bin Kaiser, I was into market research. I very well knew that I had to be an MBA marketing. So that was very clear that I can do something in branding. Okay, and I'm based, I hail from Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh. So किसी ने वहाँ पे branding and marketing देखा नहीं था. I was just lucky to be in one of the most amazing schools in Saharanpur, where my, the diction and the roots were very well formed. And once I did my MBA marketing from Ahmedabad, I was like, okay, let's go to Mumbai. And my first job was into market research, which is one of the domains in marketing. It's not the most sexiest and the most glamorous job. It's actually कि लोगों को जाके पूछो, survey करो, उनको समझो, and then you feed into the front-end marketing teams and the client side. So I started my journey with the most beautiful firm, Kantar, which is called the Hogwarts of research, because you really, once you go there, your fundamentals are very clear. You really understand consumers. So I did my bit of FMCG research. उसके बाद मैंने Nielsen join किया. I did a fair bit of media research there. When I say fair, 3-4 years of media research there. But I have been very kind and very grateful to have very good mentors who told me that you have it in you to skip, jump, take the leap forward, and take these roles which are, coming up across. So I also knew that I'm a very vertical leader. I heard you, speaking about the variety of the agency at Ogilvy. And that is something I very well knew, that I'm a person who likes the breadth. I understand depth, but I'm good with agency, okay? The agency animal. And once I did that for 7-8 years, I was plugged in by Nepa, which is a Stockholm-based consumer science firm running operations in 150 countries. And they asked me to take the India mandate. This was 7 years in. The industry was like, yaar, ye young si ladki 7 saal market research, how are you going to lead a country? This is insane. And I was also fighting a lot of self-limiting beliefs, because now I was not competing. I feel that people at the top don't compete, they collaborate always. But I was like, okay, now I'll be competing with Nielsen and Kantar in this business and almost fighting my bosses there, right? So that was a place where I think it was also like a make and break for my journey. It took me 5 years after that. I ran that show. I picked up Nepa from scratch, built the India mandate, and very recently in 2022, I also got the APAC mandate, which is to run the APAC region completely and build it like ground up with the ethos of India and with the Swedish, culture. That was going great. I had a baby then. I have a daughter, I have a 2 years old. And in 2022, when I just got the APAC mandate, I had a baby. And I'm like, life just changed. It didn't change for less, I would say it changed for more. Somehow the innate ability of creation, maybe it was creating a human being. मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कभी-कभी आप कुछ create करते हो फिर आप एक इंसान को create कर देते हो and then you're like, okay, you can actually create anything, as a woman if you have created a human being. So like, what is less or what is more for you? So I was having this chat with my mom-in-law, and I love how when women leaders talk, more often than not, the mom-in-laws enter the picture very soon because they really make or break your career. They are the biggest support pillars that you can have, and you really have to run that partnership, the way you said. So I had this chat, we properly sort of had a family discussion that I'm going to have a support at home. I will do my managing director role. I did not take any mat leave. I was running it through. I just could not. And मुझसे काफी लोगों ने पूछा कि क्यों इतना क्यों करना है तुम्हें? But I always say, and I think we were talking about, in the first session, I think a question was asked that why do women do so much? But my point is, अगर रास्ता ये है, and this is a river, right? Some people are already here, and some people are here. So if not all, किसी को तो bridge बनाना पड़ेगा. Some people will have to take a longer route to reach that reach that destination. And sadly, for certain cohorts, I won't say just men, women would still be the minority cohort in terms of corporate. So you will still have to condition, you will still have to change, still have to show so many people how to still do the CXO, CEO, CMO, CHRO while being pregnant, while delivering the baby, while doing all of it through, right? So I did that. I had this amazing relationship with my mom-in-law, of course. But then I dropped a bomb to her. Once my daughter was 1 year old, I said, I want a second baby. But the second baby is not a human. I want to start a firm. And she was absolutely amazing. But the root cause and the trigger was that I felt that I had the ability to use my data skill from my previous experience of research. And also that I knew that I'm a marketer at heart. And honestly, there are currently not many agencies which are ground up research. They're creative forward, but not many are ground up created by researchers. So I thought this is a great sweet spot for me. I just listened to my gut. I had some mentors, and my coach, I think, who was here last year, if some of you were here at IMA last year, Ms. Saloni Suri. So she's my life coach. And she said that you have it in you. Just go for it. Just don't listen to anything. Start your firm. You're ready to be your own CEO. And that was the trigger. Yeah.
Excellent. Wonderful. Esha, you are also into storytelling.
Yes, I am.
That's a passion.
That's a passion.
And then do you weave your brand stories? How do you do that?
So I feel that to craft good stories or to tell good stories, you definitely have to be a better listener.
Yes. Absolutely.
Even in the previous session, we were talking about the value of books. The podcast and all is great. There's so much of information happening right now. Gen Z, millennials, Gen X सब साथ में काम कर रहे हैं. Cultural differences बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. Where do you find your truth? Where do you find your source of truth? Reading helps. So listening really helps. Because of research, talking to consumers also helps. But India is a very weird country that ways. Because यहाँ का consumer बोलता कुछ है करता कुछ है. So when we actually do surveys and when we actually do research, we have to be, when we craft stories, my first thing is fine, this is what, you went to 20,000 people, this is the data, but can we sit with 5 people and just listen to them, the whys? So I think if you are in any field and if you are building a brand and if you are a storyteller, you could be a writer, a workshop taker, a principal. But you need to know the why behind human thinking more than the what. We are very complex human beings. If you see something, some content, what you will actually watch on your screen versus what you'll tell other people what you're watching varies. So it's very important to understand the why as a storyteller and be very patient. I have had to rewire a lot. I'm a talker. So I had to really become a listener on the way and, just absorb a lot in a way. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. If your brand was a superhero, what would its superpower be? And would you wear the that cape, or let your brand wear it?
That's a very interesting one. So like this superhero exists.
Yes.
Okay. I think
One of us is a superhero.
I think it would be like a Spider-Man, kind of. And what it would basically do is just entangle the webs and climb it. Like research, human behavior, women empowerment, all kinds of entanglement that is happening. I would be, and Pegboard would be a Spider-Man for sure. And I also believe that we are my co-founder, Tejasvi Nikam, it's a women-founded agency. And we were talking how the creative functions have always been given this, the desk job have been given to women. We're really trying to rewire that. For a lot of our IPs that are launched, the podcasts that we do, the productions that we take up, we have right from set to the spot dada, we don't have spot dadas, we have spot girls. It's like a start to end women made team. And it's not that we are anti-men, it's just that we are trying to get into the rooms and forums which have been told that you can't have it. And why you can't have it and why you shouldn't have it. So that's the thing that we are trying to crack, because we feel that if we were this superhero, तो जो कहानियाँ बनेंगी या जो brand campaigns बनेंगी वो सिर्फ awards के लिए नहीं बनेंगी. They will also be made for cultural correction. There are, I don't want to name a campaign, but there are many campaigns which would get into controversies. Virality is something that we chase today. Ki yaar, let's do this reel, it will get viral. That's not how brands are formed. As any brand agency, as a CMO, as a marketing head, you have a lot of onus from what you show, right? So it's very, very important to sort of entangle those things like a Spider-Man.
Wonderful key takeaway here. And you are so energetic. I'm sure some of your ideas are bizarre too. So is there any bizarre idea that you were able to actually pitch in?
It's a complex one, because I think at idea stage, everything is bizarre.
Yes.
So we do a thing that when we do ideation at Pegboard, and even in the previous stints, we never used to judge an idea. But I remember one of the most funniest one was, this was not the trend, this, I don't know if some of you have heard the silent garbas that happen. Now it's very frequent, but I think a few years back, it was one of the research projects and we had to do this campaign. I remember me and of course a bunch of the team that we have, it's never like an individual work, but we suggested two things. If we could influence the dreams of the consumers, by putting these EEG, like those gears, if any one of you has been into neuroscience, if we could slide in and understand that and manipulate the dreams to remember the brand, that was one of the things that we had pitched to a brand that got cancelled. But like a version of it was of course accepted. And I also remember this silent Garbas piece was done properly. We just thought that what if there was a party where everyone was on their own music? And that's how we were able to do like one very absurd, absolutely weird campaign for a brand.
So daydreams do come true.
They do. You have to. Khayali pulao dekhne chahiye. They are important because what you believe, what you think, what you dream becomes true. That's how manifestation works. I know it's a very cool thing, right? Abhi sab kehte hain that you should manifest and manifest. Like that's every forum that you will hear this word. But sometimes we don't allow ourselves to dream.
We do.
Yeah.
That happens. So I'm sure there must be some embarrassing moments as well. Would you want to share some?
I'm not sure. I like to be cool on stage.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. So embarrassing was, I think I was starting out in Nielsen. And I was this energetic, give me all, I'll do it all kind of a kid on the block. And I remember one of my managers, Deepak Pillai, and he said that you are 2 years into this, you think like, I always used to go, I love public speaking, give me this, I want to speak, I want to host. So they said, okay, you know what, host this round table for us. And we also had like an office party the same day. So the idea was we all will rehearse, we all will practice, and then in the evening everyone will go and have dinner. Okay. And I was very excited about it. As much as I knew I was good at it, it didn't went the way it was supposed to be. I was nervous, I was just freaking out. There were some, we have this idea of hierarchy in corporate. The flat structure is a new thing, but then for the longest of time, you do go through hierarchy. There are people who come with the titles and everything, and even if you're starting out, you would get sort of like zombed out by that. And I remember that I had to skip that dinner because just after my presentation, my mentor snatched me out of the room and said, you and I are locked here. Rehearse again and again and again and again. So I also feel that this helps, when you think you are the coolest, best, and when you are told you are not, that's when growth happens. Because that's when someone has really killed your ego, and you really can't win by ego, right? Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So if today you had to have, or you had to host a dinner party like you said, but with 3 females,
Wow.
or 3 women leaders from history, who would they be?
That's interesting. There are so many women. I would host a gala and not a party of
Name
3
few
women.
for us.
I would say I'll pick Priyanka Chopra. Not history, I'm just saying the pop culture
All right,
relevance
all
as well.
right. Yes.
Maybe Jhansi Ki Rani,
Wonderful.
because that's like history.
Yeah.
And maybe Beyonce, because global.
Oh,
So,
superb.
and you know what? We won't ask them their success stories, not the juggle and like not the sympathetic ones, but what were those bold decisions that they took
Excellent.
that made them what they are?
What they are today.
yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what women in leadership stereotype do you think is the most ridiculous one?
There are so many, I think.
Yes.
One, of course, I think we talked about the whole emotional piece.
Yes.
You can work with your heart and win with your mind.
True.
Like, you can totally do that.
Yes.
And I think the second one is that, why do you have to? I think that's like the biggest stereotype. Like, why? Of course we have to.
And if you have to defy these stereotypes, can you suggest any catchy slogan, the lines?
I already did, actually.
Which one?
Work with your heart, win with your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
a
catchy? Yes.
I think so.
Wonderful, wonderful. No, we are all sure it is.
Yeah.
So if your brand had a leadership motto, what would it be? And does it involve chocolate or wine as essential components, like typical advertisements do?
I think it will involve a green color matcha
Oh.
and not coffee or tea. That's how the brand would be different, because that's how the brand is different right now. Pegboard and also our leadership team, the way we are trying to, just do what we, and I think our, sometimes our motto is, you have a creative problem and you want maths and data behind it, we will get the job done. Just give it to us.
Oh, excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. And before we move on to our fireside chat,
We are not into the fireside
No,
chat
that is going
yet.
to be still there. So what we are actually trying to do here is, I would ask you a question which is a little more on a serious note.
Okay.
Sometimes what happens is, we want to be powerful. For that, we sometimes have to alienate ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to make people unhappy.
Ouch.
Yes, there's an ouch there.
Yeah. There
Can
is.
it be done? And if yes, how can it be done?
I think it's not easy, but I also feel that you are not responsible for everyone's growth. There is only, like, I always feel that you can make other people see where they're going to be only till a point.
Right.
And I've had my lessons and journeys in this. One of the things that I had to deal with, for example, when I took on the managing director role in Nepa 6 years back, was that I suddenly went into a loop that, oh my God, I'm so lonely. I have so many enemies. Everyone hates me for being good. And one of my coaches says that women in general get into this loop more. We start blaming ourselves. We are like, hamari galti hogi, sorry. We say sorry a lot, or we get into that loop a lot. And but then I think with a lot of support, I understood that everyone needs to do their work. And it's not that you're making anyone unhappy. You are making yourself happy and your parents happy and everyone who has put in so much of work, the friends that you have met, the family that you have supported, to finally get what you are getting through a goal. And the biggest thing for success also is that you should trust people who were with you when you were nothing, and you should also count those who are with you when you were something and they continue to be without any vested interests. Because the ones who cannot see your success ka definition, moving in a particular way, maybe are not for you at all. So I think that it's not easy, and as you said, it's a serious thing. You really can't even joke. I can't even joke about it.
Yes.
So yes.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And some now quick questions to you.
Okay.
So one-liners there. Coffee or tea? And why is it coffee, if it is, for the hustle?
Yeah, I think first I would be matcha, not coffee tea. But if it is, then coffee. And I think there are days, especially when you are on the set and you're working, that hustle requires tons of caffeine.
Oh, wow.
So you
Wonderful.
can't go through that without it.
So what is going to be your go-to mantra when you're facing a tough day at work?
Just trust the process and be very solution oriented. And I think Neena, you were speaking about don't talk about the problems, just go about with the action oriented mindedness, because the more you talk about the problem, it just expands. What you keep your focus on expands. So rather just focus on the action.
Wonderful. One piece of advice you would give to women aspiring to be brand managers?
Be audacious. Be supremely audacious in every single room. And just speak your mind. And just don't say to please people, say what is on your mind. I think if you can be only as good as a brand manager as much as you first understand your self branding well. I think I was talking to someone, I think Pooja yesterday, who's the C, I don't know if she's in the room, and she said that if I could talk about individual branding today, but because I know we are also running on time, is that for women it's extremely important to build their brand. And I also feel that we are better branding people. We tell stories well. It comes with a very good, we've done so much of research on cohorts, amongst lakhs of people so far, seeing that the EQ level and the emotional quotient for women is at a different level altogether. That means individual branding, and it's not just about what you're wearing. It's about the logic and magic. For example, if I tell you that I believe in sustainability and I believe in recycling clothes, it's boring. But again, as a woman, only I can say as a women marketer, I am wearing a sari, Nani sari converted into a quad today. I think that, which is, women have weapons. You will not hear a male CMO talk about such a story, but you can totally hear it from women, right? Only we can pull it off. So I think the bridge of logic and magic beautifully sits with women. And being brand managers is something I feel that just comes naturally to us.
Wonderful, wonderful. And the last one here, an emoji that best describes your leadership style. Go.
Just the smile with the chashma, the black chashma.
Oh,
Just
wonderful,
do it.
wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So thank you
Thank you
so much.
Sonal. This was
It was
amazing.
wonderful. I would like to thank our sponsor, Shri Agarwal Sweets, and our digital partners, Indore Subha, for all their support. And I would request the AV team to put the key takeaways, not the GPT ones, here.
We made sure that we understand.
Yes, it's so important. It's just so important. And thank you. And I would now request Miss Archana Aaron, Director Aaron Realty, to conduct the next session. Thank you so much, Esha. It was wonderful having you.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thanks.